Hi, welcome to the EEVblog, an electronics engineering video blog of interest to anyone involved in electronics design. I'm your host, Dave Jones.
Okay, check 1, 2. Anyone out there? I think we're on live. I think there might be a bit of a lag. Anyone? Here we go. Yay, we have audio. Can everyone give me a audio and video thumbs up, thumbs down? Everything's working fine, sound looks good, yay it works, thumbs up. Audio great, video slight lag in the UK, yeah, sorry, we all expect the video lag, it's crap. I'm recording and I think we're on. Audio might peak a little bit, maybe I should drop the audio, but maybe I should just not speak as loud. Maybe that's just the solution, I won't muck around with it, we're working. Much better than last time. Just turn down the bright as the sun light. Let's have a look. How's that for light? I've now only got one fluoro on. Better? Is the video lag any good? Video lag test, 1, 2. Switching the light back on. Video lag. I think the video lag's better. Anyone? Yeah, the frames per second goes down because this is a the frames per second of the webcam will actually drop based on the light level. So you can't have really bright lights and or low light and high frame rate. So too much exposure, everyone. Sorry, I don't know how to adjust the exposure on this crappy webcam. So I think we'll just have to live with it. It looks okay on my screen, like my forehead is quite bright, but apart from that it doesn't seem too bad. But same low light, sorry. Okay, let's see if we can adjust the webcam. Is that better? No, it doesn't look better on my monitor. I've got my webcam. It's not attached to the monitor. My webcam is sitting on a cornflakes box. So, just to prop it up above my notebook here. I look like data from Star Trek. Yes, I get that all the time. I think I might have mentioned that in the last blog, or the last live episode. Yes, I look like data from Star Trek. Makeup on my forehead. Sorry, the wife's gone. So I don't know how to do the makeup thing. Keep the drink away this time. Here we go. Yes, I've got the stainless steel sports sucker container. So even if you turn it upside down, it's only going to drip like once or twice. So here we go. All right, what's the time? It is now 8 o'clock. So, hi everyone. Thanks for turning up at short notice. I've got 33 viewers by the looks of it. Well, 33 people in the chat room. I'm not sure if that's how many are actually viewing. There could be more viewing, I don't know. And I'm actually recording with 2 cameras this time. I'm recording with the webcam directly above the notebook here, and I'm recording with my standard camera, which is off to one side. So I'm actually recording this in HD using my standard camera and my shotgun mic. So it means I'll be able to upload the actual broadcast in HD as a standard blog, except I won't be looking at the recorded camera, I'll be looking at the webcam. So it'll turn out a bit. 86 viewers. Somebody said 86? Where do you see that? I only see 34 viewers on my chat box. So, oh yeah, okay, so there may be viewers who aren't participating in the chat, but they're watching anyway. So thanks everyone for turning up at the last note with short notice. So yeah, here we go. I've got no prepared thing at all, so I'm just going to do it based on a Q&A type thing. Oh, first question. Oh God, how many of you ordered the MSP 430 Launchpad because of Dave's advertising? Yeah, HP, the TI owe me a kickback, I guess. But unfortunately, I don't get any kickback apart from the advertising on the YouTube ads and the Google ads and stuff like that. What I thought I'd show you is I got a new delivery from Extech, and check it out. It's one of these. Packaging's not the best. It's the Extech MC108 little USB microscope kind of thing. It's really quite groovy. There it is up to the main camera, and they sent me this to do a review on, and I'll have to do a review eventually. But yeah, it's kind of groovy. It's got some limitations. I'm not sure if you can see the monitor there, but yeah, you can. I'll do a full review on it. I won't do a review here, but it's kind of a neat gadget. It's great for checking the numbers on chips, because it's got a built-in light. It's got a built-in light with multiple levels that you can turn off and on, zoom from 7 times up to 27 times. I find that 27 times doesn't really work properly unless the device is actually right up inside there and it's a tiny device. But for scanning over a board and reading chips, oh, brilliant. I've been using it at work, and it's really nice for doing that. It's like $300 though, very expensive, ridiculously expensive. And it comes with this little stand. Check it out, and it sits on there like that, which all kind of seems real groovy. And then you can adjust the knob here, and that actually does go up and down or something like that. And I don't know, it's a bit of a wank, really. I haven't been able to make it work properly, so I have no idea. It certainly doesn't work on boards and stuff like that. Maybe it's for viewing just parts on your desk. I haven't really tried it properly. Anyway, that's up for review. I don't know when, whenever I get around to it, I guess. So yeah, I've got that up. I've got that from Extech. I've got, let's see what else I have. I've got the Extech LCR meter. I've got that one for review. I've got the Agilent one showed up. I tweeted that one. You may have actually seen it. So that's the Agilent, what is it? The U1731B. What do they do stupid model numbers like that for? I mean, oh God. And the Extech one is the 380193. Oh, give me a break. Crazy. So I'm still waiting on the BK Precision one. They're sending me the LCR meter, which is almost identical to this Agilent one, which was designed by Escort, who HP bought out, Agilent bought out. So BK Precision have redesigned it, and they've got a new unit. So there you go. Just let me adjust my USB microphone here, because it is peaking a bit, so I'll actually put it I'll put it back there like that. How's the audio? Still okay? Thumbs up. Dave, one thing you can try with your annoying bike light, instead of flipping through all the modes, just try to hold down the button until it switches off. I can do that with mine. No, I don't think it does that. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. When is the $100 shootout planned? Looking forward to that. Well, it's I've got to find time. I've started the summary sheet for them, but I haven't actually shot any footage yet. And here are all the meters. It's the BK Precision one. I've got the Ideal one, which falls over. I've got the UEI meter. And I should be showing these to the camera up there too, the HD. I've got the Amprobe one, which is really annoying. Check out, I'm not sure if you can you hear that? and it beeps every time you change ranges. It's got this sickly, very sick sounding beep to it, and the LCD kind of fades a little bit. I'll do it to the main camera up here, and it's really quite annoying. The Amprobe 34XR, and I've got the Extech EX505. I've actually got two of these, because the first one I got, you may have seen my tweet on that. It had a real problem inside it that I found, and Extech replaced it quick smart. So I've got two of them, so I'm going to do a separate destruction test for the Amprobe 505, yes. Oh, and I've got the Uni-T one. I don't have that here, the box is inside, I think. But yeah, I've got the Uni-T 61D, I think it is. They've got so many models, it's just crazy. So, what do we got? Looking at the chat room here. Do I have any tips about designing switch mode power supply transformers? They can be tricky. There's lots of good app notes on how to do it and stuff like that, so I recommend you read those, and all books will teach you all different things, and it's just really try and if you choose your switch mode converter chip first, and then look for any app design notes for transformers and things like that, and they're generally pretty good, so I follow those, and because the math can get quite complicated and stuff like that if you really want to go into it. But yeah, I highly recommend you follow the app notes. Dave, do you think amateur robotics will be huge or just a fad? Well, it's not just a fad, because robots are cool. So as long as there's geeks, there's going to be robots, and it's just getting so much easier and cheaper to actually do them and things like that. So it's not just a fad, I don't think. I'd love to work on robots, but geez, I don't have the time to do the blog, let alone work on robots and stuff like that. Big major projects, because designing a decent robot is quite a decent project. Has the chat room stopped? Oh no, there we go. Well, there might be some lag on the chat room, or nobody's talking. Are you planning any non-multimeter test equipment reviews, especially power supplies, soldering irons, etc.? I have nothing planned. Evan at teequipment.net is looking into possibly acquiring me a what's the Rigol oscilloscope competitor? Got a mental block. The one we were talking about in the forums the other day. Please, someone help me out. No, not the A10, not the O1. Instech. Oh, GW Instech. Yes, the Instech one. Thank you very much. That T equipment have for like $400 bucks, and on paper it looks like it shits all over the Rigol DS1052E. It really does. So for 400 bucks you get 2 gig sample per second. No, you still get 1 gig sample per second, but it's 2 meg of memory at 1 gig sample. Whereas the Rigol at 1 gig sample will only do 16K. It won't do the full meg, let alone 2 meg. So there looks to be no competition there for virtually the same price. So maybe I'll be able to get one of those. Sorry, I don't remember the Instech model number. Dave, you always complain about tilting bales on multimeters, so could you describe the perfect tilting bale? Well, no, there's probably no such thing. I did like I really like the old Fluke 80 series tilting bale. It was the one that it was rubber and it had metal rods in the thing, and it would bend. It was a bendy one, and I thought that was really cool. And they dropped it, and they put on this stupid little plastic thing, and I really liked the old version of that. It would get worn out over time, but hey, you could just buy a new case and you could actually replace it. It's pretty cold here today. Let's actually considering I've got this here, 11 degrees here in Sydney today, 11 degrees Celsius. It's quite cold here. I thought it'd be much colder, hence the jumper. It's the middle of winter here in Sydney, and it's a bit chilly, so my hands are a bit... But I think it's like 4 degrees outside or something like that, so the garage, the lab here is a little bit warmer than that. So... did you hear... Oh, somebody's put a little question, a little graphical question mark next to the chat window. How did you do that? That's pretty cool. Did you hear back from Extech about the tweezer multimeter that blew up in your hands? Yes, I did. Sorry, I haven't updated. Yes, they've admitted that they really pulled out all the stops to investigate this thing straight away, and they admitted. They asked me to send it back to them, but I haven't done it yet. I've been very slack, so I still have the piece of shit here. And they were able to reproduce the actual problem, and the problem was exactly as I described it. It was that interlock switch when you actually plug in the thing like that. If you don't plug it all the way in, which is really hard on my one, then it doesn't engage that interlock safety switch, and then it's in RC mode, and it can't handle high voltages in RC mode. So they designed it completely back to front, and they said, they admitted it, they were able to reproduce it, get exactly the same results where it blows up, and they're going to redesign it. So I haven't heard back after that. They even offered to one of the head guys there even offered to fly over here and come into the lab and actually explain themselves all the way from the US to my little lab here and explain it. So I don't know if I'll take them up on that one or not. Maybe they should come out here and I can destroy the 505 in front of them or something like that and see if that holds up. So anyway, I haven't heard anything further than that, but they promised to keep me updated and things like that. So I probably should send it back to them because they just want more data, but they've already, destroyed dozens of them. So there you go. Yeah, the bloody... Yeah, what a heap of crap that tool is. They need to redesign it, seriously. Dave, do you do a lot of breadboarding? Or do you go straight... Everyone's using this little question thing now. That's really cool. I missed how you actually do that. Anyway, that's really neat. Little graphical, little cue shows up on my window. I'm sure it's showing up on everyone else. Do you do a lot of breadboarding, or do you go straight to PCB? Well, I go straight to PCB a lot these days. I don't do much breadboarding because often the parts I need will be in SMD or something like that, so I won't actually use a breadboard. Often I'll just get some SMD prototyping boards, and I'll just, bird's nest the parts on there. I'll solder the parts on there and do point-to-point wiring and stuff like that. Unless if the circuit's too big, then that's a real pain, and I'll probably just go straight to a quick full-on custom PCB. Okay, now question. Oh, Q, then okay, that's how you do it. A Q, then a colon. You put Q colon and question. Awesome. Question: what is your favorite board house? I use PCB Cart, even though I have PCB Wing advertising on my site. I've used them a couple of times, PCB Wing, but I find PCB Cart in China. Whoop, screensaver turned on. Oy, I better twiddle the mouse here every 5 minutes or something, otherwise the screen's going to turn off. Yeah, PCB Cart. I've been using them for ages, and I find their service is awesome, and their board quality is pretty darn decent, and the prices are reasonable. So there's probably cheaper options, but I do like PCB Cart. Question: what Fluke multimeter would have the best bang per buck for a hobbyist who's been using $40 meters? Oh, well, the 110 series, they're not really electronics meters, they're electricians meters, so they lack the microamp current range and stuff like that. I don't really recommend you get one of those. Flukes are just expensive. That's just the way it is. As same with the Fluke 70 series, they're electricians meters. They don't do microamps. They don't do microamps. They go down to like a 40 milliamp range or something like that. And you've really got to go. You've really got to go to the 80 series, unfortunately, unless you get that new that Fluke 18 or whatever it is, the Chinese one that's only on the Asian. That's only in the Asian market. I haven't got my hands on one of those yet, but I've seen photos inside one. And it looks pretty decent. So I would, if you're really strapped for cash, maybe go up to the Fluke 18. But that doesn't get it's not made in US. It's made in China. You don't get the lifetime warranty. You don't, get all that sort of stuff. So really, maybe that's an option. The Fluke 18. I think it is, or the 17. Sorry, it might be the Fluke 17. Sorry, I've got to keep drinking. My NIDA voice coach told me to drink room temperature water, otherwise my already horrible voice is just going to be a lot worse. So I need to stay hydrated and drink room temperature water. When is that Agilent question? I made an MP3 player that runs on 6 AA batteries. I want to run it on only 2 AA batteries. Can you recommend connecting a step-up converter to a TI Class D? Do you recommend to connect a step-up converter? You can just get a 2 AA. Lots of manufacturers run little 2 AA boost converters to easily up it to 9 volts, so that's not a problem at all. It should work. Dave, do you have equipment from the Netherlands or Dutch stuff? No, I don't, unfortunately. There's a guy at work, he comes from the Netherlands. I keep hearing stories about the Netherlands, but no, sorry, I don't have any gear at all. In fact, our company has a office in the Netherlands, so there you go. Just got 10 4-layer boards. Question, following the breadboard for us newbies, are there many pitfalls to watch using bread strip board, not running clocks too quickly, etc.? Yes, there's lots of crosstalk, lots of capacitive coupling between traces when you use strip board and stuff like that. And it can be actually better to use the point-to-point wiring technique instead of a perf board or a strip board. Because these strips add, there's massive capacitance between the strips. When I talk massive, I'm talking, tens of picofarads or something, but it can be quite substantial. You wouldn't do a switch mode power supply on there or something like that. It can get real nasty unless you cut the tracks. Don't leave the long. When you build your circuit up, make sure if you are working at anything that's reasonable frequency, then actually cut the tracks so they don't make little mini antennas all the way along the board, because you get a piece of, here we go. You actually get a piece of Vero strip board like that. I'm not sure if you can see the strips on there, but that is a strip board, and they go all the way along. And if you build your circuit on just a tiny part of it like that, then the ends of your circuit have these long traces coming straight out of them. You need to trim those off at the very least, so you don't have, you don't leave those excess tracks going all the way out there. They can cause problems. Question, when is the Agilent LCR coming to do a review? You might have missed the start of the show. I already have it. There's the Agilent LCR meter, and I like it. It's quite neat. Although I did tweet that here it is, really nice, kind of sexy. I like it. It works really well. I think I tweeted this, that I won't open the battery compartment, but it takes a 9-volt battery in the back. It's got a nice little battery compartment. 9 volts. There it is. You can see the up to the camera up there, and you can see it. And it came with. Look what it came with. It came with 2, 4, 6, 8 AA nickel metal hydride rechargeable batteries. That's hilarious. It came with that, and it takes one 9-volt. I don't know who packed this thing, but That is just ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not sure if someone's just fiddled with my unit because I was getting it for review and I was getting it special and I don't know. I have no idea, but yeah, that's just a big screw up, really. Anyway, it's a really nice meter. So is the Extech one. I like the Extech one too. And so the BK Precision will be just like this one, but it's redesigned. Apparently it's got better specs and performance or something like that. So I'm not really sure, but BK Precision saw the forum post. They're watching, all these manufacturers, they're all lurking, watching my forums. I'm being contacted by quite a few of them, putting out the feelers, trying to suss me out and suss out the blog and stuff like that, if they're going to send me gear or not. And yeah, but they're all watching, they're all lurking out there. So it's the blog's having a big effect on them, I think. So, yeah, I don't know when I have time to do that. Same with the $100 multimeter shootout. This takes hours. When I did the $50 meter shootout, I shot over 200 clips for that. And it took long enough to film, and then I had to edit 200 clips, and it was just, it was not fun at all. So I'm not actually looking forward to, I'm kind of looking forward to doing the $100 shootout, but not to editing the damn thing, because it's really quite an effort. So, question, if you send a fluke off to be calibrated, what do they charge to calibrate it? No idea. I don't send my gear off to be cowed. I don't even know if Fluke actually do it themselves. Usually it's an independent cow lab that does it. What is the part number for that Vera board? Sorry, I have no idea. Don't even know where I got it from. I've got 3 of them. Probably got them from J-Car, Farnell's, I don't know, no idea. Sorry. Talking about meters and batteries, 9 volts or AA. Which one do I prefer? I assume that's your question. 9 volt is your traditional one, so, you know, 9 volts convenient and all that, but the problem with 9 volts is that if you want to keep a spare one in your toolbox, the terminals are exposed like that. So, you know, if you just throw this in your toolbox, you're just going to short out those terminals on a screwdriver or the metal case or something metal. So, you know, you've got to put a bit of tape over the top. So they can be annoying in that respect, and 9 volts don't have 9 volts don't have the same capacity that you'll get in 2 AA's or even 2 AAA's. I think possibly 2 AAA's might even have, well, similar capacity or something. But the good thing about 9 volts is that, well, it's 9 volts, and then you don't need a DC to DC converter to generate a high diode and ohms test, high diode voltage. So whereas if you use 2 AA's, you've got to actually have a DC to DC converter, which has its own efficiency problems and shortens the battery life in that respect, and that's the only way you can get a higher diode test voltage. And I like being able to test, you know, 3 volt white LEDs with my you know, with the meter, with the diode test range. So yeah, it's a trade-off. I'd probably say AA's, only if they have a DC to DC converter to up the voltage for the diode test range. There you go. Do you know if Microchip made PickKit 3 usable yet? I got an email from them. Apparently they have released the separate programming app again. I haven't downloaded, I haven't tried it because I'm using Atmel at the moment. I haven't actually used Pick for quite a bit at the moment, so I don't actually know if they made it usable. It was reasonably usable back when I had it. It actually did the job, but it was just annoying compared to the PickKit 2. And yeah, apparently they've been continually updating it. Apparently, I think I read the forums, and it's a lot better, but I don't know firsthand. Sorry. VHDL or Verilog, I don't care. I hate both of them, and I'm not very good at VHDL. I've never really touched Verilog as such, so I just don't care, really, you know. Dave, can you please split large videos up? YouTube has a fit about big ones. Does it? I don't know. I don't have a problem at all with big watching big videos on YouTube. So I don't know what the problem is. Can anyone else confirm that? I think somebody emailed me. It may have been the same person on the forum here. So I'm not aware of that. I prefer not to split the, well, it depends, because if you split the video up, then you'll get people complaining either way, really, that, oh, why is it split? I just want to watch the whole thing, set it and have it on in the background and all that sort of stuff. Have you thought about using the EEVblog army to edit? I think it's scrolled off the screen, but have I thought about using the EEVblog audience to edit the videos? Well, I don't know how that's going to work, so no, I haven't really thought of that. No, but possibly like maybe the forum stuff. Maybe I might appoint someone as an admin on the forum or something like that to help out there, possibly. Because I don't read all the forum questions. I don't. I swap. The thing with the forum is you swap different machines, and it, if I'm reading one using my work machine, I come home or I go somewhere else and read it, then it resets what you've read or something. So you miss a lot of stuff. So I miss a lot of forum posts. I don't read them all, and that's a bit. No one's having YouTube problems. It looks like the consensus is no YouTube problems. Not a problem. No. Okay, sorry. No, it must be just you or your machine. Question regarding my question: what happens if a USB hub provides his wall wart voltage back to the PC on the 2 voltages on one line? Well, you're in for deep shit if your USB hub is actually outputting voltage back to the PC. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. It shouldn't be doing that. It should only be powering the output ports. It shouldn't be sending back to the PC. You're going to have big problems there if that happens. Bye-bye PC, I think. Dave, could you explain how your resistance box works? It looks great to use. Yeah, no problems. This is my decade resistance box. It's a 6-decade resistance box. To the camera up there, you probably can't see the knobs and stuff. I built this when I was very, very young. It's basically just a 10-way switch, a 10-way single pole 10-way switch, and there's a series, and you just I could probably draw it if I don't like drawing things on the live blog. If I can find a thing, texter. Here we go. Got the whiteboard. Let me draw it. You've got a etc. Better check the time too. 8:30. Doing well. Oh, hang on. Hey, the video. Oh no, I thought the video froze. I'm sure the video froze on the screen there for a second. And let's see if I get this right. Oh god. Okay. Sorry, I'm probably taking up. No, it's going to take too long to draw. But basically, there's a whole bunch of series resistors down here like this, a 10-way switch like this, and you tap off 1 through to 10. These are all equal value resistors in a particular decade, and then you series and then you have 6 of those, or however many you want in series. So my lowest one is 10 ohms. Yeah, so I've got 10 ohms on the lowest one here, 1K, and then it goes up in decades. 10 ohms, 100 ohms, 1K, 10K, 100K, and 1 meg. So I can dial up any value from 10 ohms up to 1.111 meg, up to 10.1 meg, using this box in 10 ohm, or in theory in 10 ohm increments, because you can put them all in series. So I can switch it to 1 meg and then add in an extra 10 ohms like that. And it's not that accurate. There's only 1% resistors in here or something. So, the 1 ohm, if you turn on 1 meg like that, it's going to be 1 meg plus minus 1%. So that's a hell of a lot more than 10 ohms. So when you switch the 10 ohms in, it does increment by 10 ohms, but not absolute. It's a relative thing. So yeah, these are really handy. Decade resistance boxes. You can buy them. Video's freezing. I'm not sure what's going on. Video's frozen. It's back. Can anyone tell me if the video's freezing? Ooh, okay. Sorry, there's a question about some mysterious box. Oh, the resistance box watts. They're only quarter watt resistors. Maybe even half watt resistors, I'm not sure. You can get ones with nice big 5 watts in there, but they're very expensive. Generally, you'll just get the quarter watts. Someone had a question about the cupboard. I think some cupboard or something. Can you ask that again? It's scrolled off the screen. I don't want to go chase it. How do you get rid of annoying marketing guys after you ordered some samples? Well, I try not to order samples now because they are really freaking annoying, and you want to keep them on the good side as well. So you don't want to tell them to piss off because you might actually need them for something in the future. So yeah, you've just got to lie your ass off and say, oh, it's my project is still in the the development phase, and we're just sussing out chips, and it'll be 12 months to manufacture or something like that, and that gets them off your case pretty much. What about the mysterious project closet in your study room? Are we going to see more about that? It's mainly odds and ends books. It's mainly books and stuff in there. That cupboard you saw in the last live video, if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about. It's just got some. It's not really any old projects in there. So I've got some more old projects in here and stuff like that. So it's mainly books and cables and boxes, original boxes for stuff and things like that. So there's lots of empty boxes in there. It's not terribly exciting. And that laser thing is in there, but nah, there's a few drawers with cables and stuff, but anyway. Sorry, it's not that exciting. No, the wife doesn't let me hoard anything. It's quite sad. Dave, still working on your calculator watch or some other project? No, unfortunately, I'd like to. I'm still, people talk, hang on, I'll go get something if it's here. Yeah, here it is. I found it. This was my last. I got all excited about this, which is the micro calc, and it's probably looks shit on the webcam. But and I'll put it up to the main camera up here. And it's not going to fail. I got manual focus on the big camera up there, so I can't zoom in macro-wise. But it's basically a credit card. Scientific calculator. It's really, it's not quite as thin as a credit card, but it's I think it was my target was 3 millimeters, I think, thick or something like that, and it's got a 128 by 128 by 32 graphic LCD or something, and it's all touch sensitive, and it's got a PIC. It's got a 24-bit PIC micro on the back. That's the blog. Those mod wires there are the blog I talked about the PIC, the ICSP interface being on the wrong pins, or it didn't work. The silicon, it had silicon bugs in it, and I had to swap it. It's got an SD. It's got an SD card there. It's got a micro SD card in it. This is just a ISP header. It's just an in-circuit programming header. That's not supposed to be there, but. And it's powered by two CR1620 cells or something like that. And unfortunately, I haven't had time to work on that one either. I sort of went a bit cold on that. So the guys on the calculator forums will get all apeshit over that because I haven't finished it. And I think it's really neat. The world's first scientific credit card calculator with graphic screen, and it was going to play chess and do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. But no, so that's on the back burner, and the Mark II calculator watch is on the back burner. I never got I almost got to the PCB for doing spinning a PCB for that one, but no, sorry, it was, yeah, too many projects at once. I lose interest in projects pretty quickly. So, Dave, will you be doing a tour of your workshop sometime? I've already done one. Look in the archives. I don't know, number 40 or something, blog number 40, maybe 50. I have no idea. Lost track. I'm almost up to 100 official blogs. And how are the buttons made on the Calc? They're a capacitive touch sensor. So it's just, they're etched onto the PCB. So there's two pads in there. So when you put your finger on, your finger acts as a dielectric constant. And this particular PIC, where 24 F series PIC has a built-in capacitive keypad touch sensor on it. And I haven't written firmware to actually try it yet. So that's the main concern. Is of whether or not this thing will work, will the capacitive touch sensor, because it's only a 2-layer board, so you've got to be careful when you actually route them and stuff like that. You can actually see the tracks through the solder mask. Anyway, there's some close-up photos of it somewhere on the site, and yeah, that's a capacitive touch sensor. So yeah, I'd love to get some firmware working on that. And see if those touch sensors work, because I haven't used the microchip touch sensors yet. So, there you go. Someone's put the link up tour for the lab. Do you have a super duper flashlight like those candle power forums? No, I've just got my my modified Cree modified Princeton Tech EOS headlamp. That's about as good as it gets. No, I'm not really into the huge flashlight thing. Do you plan on doing anything special for the 100th blog? I thought about it, and I'm just too lazy. So what I'm probably going to do is just get short 5 or 10 second snippet from each of the 100 videos. It's going to be a pain in the ass, and just stitch them all together, and it'll be a big history of the first 100. So I'll probably just do that, because I'm too lazy to actually go and destroy a meter, or blow something up, or something like that. So yeah, that's what I'll probably do. Almost certainly, I think, for the 100th blog. So it'll be interesting to see how many times I say dickhead, or it's shit or crap or something like that. So it'll just be crap for for 100 for 10 minutes or something. So that's what I planned for the 100th. Sorry, nothing more special than that. I want to know if it can run on a solar cell. No, I did a blog on that. I did my solar cell blog. I'm not sure what number that was either. Someone will probably put up the link. And it just wasn't, I wanted to originally, it just doesn't have the juice. I got like one of the most highest efficient solar cells for it, and even if I cover half the surface of this with solar cells, it wasn't enough to power the LCD. The LCD alone requires 100 microamps or 200 microamps or something, so it just doesn't have enough. You can charge it up. You can use solar cells to charge. I originally was going to have a internal high capacity super cap in there, so it would charge the super cap up and then use it. But who's going to want to use a calculator where you have to charge the damn thing? So it's easier just to use two CR cells. No. So basically, no, can't really be solar powered. It's not really practical. It can, but it's not practical. So there you go. How did you get around the EEVblog t-shirts ban they imposed on you? I just renamed it. I just renamed it from the flux capacitor to the fluxgate condenser, so it wouldn't show up on who is it? CBS, I think. CBS's web searches. Their lawyers are obviously out there, trawling through the Google, trying to find all references to all their merchandise. So I just renamed it and re-uploaded it, and no problems at all. Dickheads. Really, that's just shit. So, oh yeah, the video's freezed again. There you go. Is anyone else getting freezing video that just stops? Because even on my local monitor, I'm viewing on the local monitor, not on the server monitor, so I don't know how the server's going. So anyway, I'm recording this with the main camera up there, so if anyone wants to watch it again, or for those who missed it, it'll be on the main camera. Hi, main camera. Questions? Anyone more questions? What are we up to? What time are we up to? 8:42. Yeah, I'll probably call it quits at 9 o'clock. 1 hour show is plenty. So, do I know of any good LC meter kits? Oh, there's one. No, I haven't. None I've built myself. There's been a couple in silicon chip in the last couple of years. They went down to a very low range, if I remember rightly, especially on cap. They went down to quite a low cap range, but I'm not sure if they're any good or not. And there's, yeah, I can't remember. There's another one that's been around for donkey's years, and he sells kits from his thing, and I can't remember the name. Anyway, Dave, what is my favorite drink? Considering I don't drink alcohol, favorite drink would be my protein shake, which is quite sad, really. So there you go, rice milk protein shake. Woohoo! Favorite drink. What standard parts do I use the most of? Oh, God. I don't know, because every project seems to be different. It seems to have different requirements, and I think somebody else asked me, I've got a video interview I've got to do for Chris Gamble. I think maybe one of his questions is the same thing. Do I have any jelly bean parts I use often? And the answer is sadly no, because every new design seems to require some optimized part. I like to optimize my design, so I often don't get to reuse a jelly bean op amp or something like that. So, no, not really. Unfortunately, I don't. Even picks, I won't have a standard pick. Maybe a pick 16F88 or something if I want to flash a LED or do something like that. But no, projects are always. I like to optimize them based on the best parts and things like that. So no, sorry. Yeah, electronics is just too complicated these days. Or it offers so many options. It offers way too many options that I just get carried away. Oh, I'm not going to use that jelly bean part because it's not optimum. I'm going to fuss around and pick something else. So it's just, I enjoy doing that. What's the biggest design flaw you allowed to creep into a design, and what did you do to fix it? Oh God. Me personally, oh God, I don't know. I can't remember offhand. The big one I did in a blog way back, like blog number 5 or 10 or something, was the rubber band. We were manufacturing these seismic streamers, and it wasn't my fault that the rubber bands got in there, because it was the mechanical design engineers. But hey, I was on the team, and I didn't have any input to the rubber bands, but they put these rubber bands in the product, which seemed like a good idea at the time. They swelled up in the oil, and we manufactured thousands of these cables, shipped them out to the customers overseas on the back of their seismic survey vessels in the middle of the North Atlantic somewhere, and the things started failing. The rubber started to swell up in the oil, and it'd block off one of the acoustic ports, and that cost the company millions and millions of dollars to actually come up, not only to develop a repair technique for it, but they lost so much industry cred and face and stuff like that for these failed products, and it was really a big task. They had to manufacture these custom machines for hundreds of thousands of dollars to drill holes through because they're quite a difficult product to actually to mod and actually repair. You've got to peel back these big tough polyurethane outer skins on them. You had to peel those back. You had to drill through the metal things. You had to repair it. Then you had to pull the polyurethane back, and you had to weld the polyurethane in place, and it was a real messy, ugly process. And that was a huge cluster screw up, that one, really. So that's probably the most one of the most expensive ones I've been involved, and embarrassing I've been involved in. So I was involved in designing a solution to actually detect where the faulty ones were and repair it and stuff like that. So how do you debug an RF 1.8 gig design? I don't do much in that. How do you probe it? It's gone off the screen. Somebody said you need really expensive probes, and probing is everything. It's not unusual to pay a couple of $1,000s for a top high-end FET input high-speed probe, and you have to build into your designs. When you build in designs like 1.8 gig or something like that, you RF designs and other high-speed designs, you've got to actually build in test connectors on the board, not just test points often, but you might have to build in test connectors where you can plug in a proper high-speed connection and stuff like that. So you've got to think about testing and probing at the design and layout stage. So it can be a big deal. You know, it's really serious business. You've got to know what you're doing when you're designing stuff like that. And if you're doing the design for test, DFT or whatever it is, what's your opinion about photonics versus electronics? Is really photonics the future? Nah, bullshit, come on. Nah, not even close. Oh, photonics has its own niche areas, but it's, you know, you're not going to get photonic, you know, quantum computers and all that sort of rubbish and quantum electronics and all that sort of stuff. My brother-in-law's a laser physicist, and he's always, you know, talking about photonics and stuff like that, so I hear about it all the time. But no, electronics, no. The 555 timer will still be around in 30 years' time. Is there any way to do low-cost ESD test for hobby projects? ESD test? Not in a controlled manner, I don't think. To generate a consistent ESD chart, oh, there probably is, because you can... ESD is modelled on the human body model, which is X amount of capacitance and X amount of voltage discharged into a thing, and there's probably ways to do it, but I've always hired like an ESD gun, and a proper ESD gun to do consistent, reliable ESD tests. So there's probably a way to do it cheap, low-cost, hobbyist style, but I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. Do you find yourself using your experience and instinct or a methodical procedure for troubleshooting electronics gear? Both, I guess. If it's something I designed, I'm going to be fairly intuitive and instinctive with it rather than methodical, but methodical always comes into it. If you build a new board and you power it up and it doesn't work, and, you know, the first thing you're going to do, thou shall measure voltages is the first step in verifying, debugging any actual design or something like that. So, you know, you start out with the basic steps like that. So you start out with a little methodical, a couple of steps, and then you go into instinct, right? You know, what part of the circuit is going to cause that particular response problem. You know, if it's just a completely dead design, you know, you've got to, well, you might know if it's a micro, you'll check the oscillator, does it start up, you know, is it doing something like that? You'll check the lines, is there activity and things like that. But it depends on the thing. So, sorry, no cut or dry answer there, I'm afraid. It's just, yeah, a combination of instinct, experience, and thing. Sometimes debugging your own projects is really hard. It's a lot harder than you actually think, because you outthink yourself. You go, oh, it can't possibly be that, because that's, you know, and then you go away and you spend days debugging the damn thing, and then you find, yeah, it was that simple thing that you should have checked way up front, you know. You can get carried away. Whereas if you come in cold and on somebody else's design, you're asked to debug somebody else's design, it can be different. You can come in and go through that methodical procedure because you don't know anything about it, really, essentially, unless you've worked on a similar sort of thing before, and you go through your methodical process and you find it and you embarrass them. And yeah, so there you go. Dave, what do you think of the Large Hadron Collider or National Ignition Institute laser? I haven't heard of the National Ignition Institute laser. I have to look that one up. Laser with a Z, American spelling. Yankee spelling. The Large Hadron Collider, I think it's fantastic. I'd love to work on something like that. That'd be awesome. All these things about creating mini black holes and shit like that. I mean, I don't even think I think it's orders of magnitude off even contemplating you know, levels like that. Even though this one is apparently, the Large Hadron Collider is orders of magnitude bigger than the previous one, it's still nowhere near, you know, they're talking about early universe in the first, I don't know, recreating the energy levels in the first, you know, a couple of nanoseconds or something of the Big Bang, and it's still, you know, it's that exponential thing, it's still not even close to yeah, it's not going to create a black hole, but, you know, I don't know why. I like Switzerland. Where is it, on the Swiss-French border? I like the French and the Swiss, so, you know, I hope it doesn't blow up. You know, everyone goes, oh, I wish it was in America, and America would blow up, but there you go. Anyway, sorry, my Yankee viewers out there, you're my majority. I love the US, but yeah, it's the US. Oh, someone's going to sleep. See ya. Thanks. I've got guests now. Oh, there's 80 guests and 44 viewers, so awesome. Thanks, guys, for turning up. Any more questions? The black holes and blowing up is the same as global warming. That's not a question. Yeah, well, yeah, global warming. I won't go into it, but there is a lot of bullshit in global warming. The data sets, the data they're working on is very marginal. They're down in the noise, and they think they can predict temperature rises of X degrees. Nah, that's no. You know, yeah, I think we're killing this planet, and we should fix it and stuff like this. Wasn't a question, I'm just ranting now. But yeah, I guess you could call me a climate skeptic, maybe. But I love global warming. I love the whole hype about it because it gets what I want, which is renewable energy. So I don't care if it's complete bullshit. It's the end result is actually a good thing. It gets people doing stuff. But yeah, don't believe everything you read about global warming. I don't think. There's no way they can predict a global average temperature increase of point something. It's just, nah, it's bullshit, you know, and they're setting these limits to cap it at a 2 degrees C rise. You can't predict how much CO2 is going to cause a 2 degrees C rise and then back it off. I don't believe any of that shit. Yeah, I believe it's a problem and all that sort of stuff, but as far as the predictions go, I think it's just garbage. Oh, sorry, I've lost my chat room window. Oh, okay, chat room window's back. All right. There we go. These bloody trackpads, I hate these. This notebook's got this trackpad on it, and if you accidentally double click it, it forms the mouse. I should turn that off. It's like a mouse click, and it's really annoying because I like to bang the tap pad and it thinks I'm double clicking. It's annoying. Yeah, trackpads suck. I prefer the little nipple thing, or at least disable the trackpads are alright, but disable the stupid double click thing. Oh, how would you stop the oil spill? Well, I'd love to try and nuke it. I think I tweeted that. Yeah, I really would love to try and nuke the thing. At least make use of some nukes that the bloody US are still spending trillions of dollars on maintaining their nukes. God, they want to fix their country. Get rid of the damn nukes. Anyway, don't get me started. Yeah, so put them to use. I reckon nuke the thing. Can't do any worse. But yeah, the radiation might spread with the stream and stuff, but hey, what's with the pirate name, Mr. Davy Jones? Yeah, Davy Jones's locker, I've heard it all. It's worse in Australia. All the Yanks, they think my name's hilarious because it's Davy Jones's locker. But here in Australia, David Jones is actually a big department store. It's called David Jones, and it's one of our big, primo department stores here in Australia. Not like a Walmart. It's like a Sears or something in the US. It's like a sort of an upper class kind of clothing department store. So I got hammered as that for a kid in Australia because I had the same name as a department store, and it's just shit. Anyway, did you fix the wife's laptop? Yes, I did. Did you do any? Yes, it came good after a couple of days and dried out. Did you do any projects with RFID? Yes, back in the day, our seismic products and stuff like that had RFID tags embedded in them for tracking for service out in the field and stuff like that. And I've set up RFID readers and software and done test things and stuff like that. So yeah, little glass RFID modules, but that was quite a few years ago now. Did you develop with the ARM embedded microcontroller? Not personally. I have at work. I've done a bit of stuff on ARM. ARM are just like any other micro. I don't know what the big to-do is, except that they're using 90% of mobile phones or something like that. Peter Jones is a UK department store. Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just another 32-bit architecture. It's no big deal. People talk about compatibility between, you know, different things, but can be a load of bullshit too, because you've got to recompile. You know, they've got all different I/O architectures and different functions built into them, which aren't the same. Yeah, the core architecture's the same on ARM chips, but yeah, all the UARTs and the peripherals and stuff like that, they all work differently. So there's no standard across chips. So that's, you know, it's not as great as it seems. You know, compatibility. You can't just take your source code and go to another chip and hit compile and it works. It, you know, doesn't really work like that. What was the last thing you accidentally blew up? Well, it was this tweezer meter thing. It's buried under some shit. But this, yeah, Extech tweezer. That's the last thing I accidentally blew up. Next. What's the most expensive electronics mistake you have made? Oh, gee, I don't know. Haven't blown up any $50,000 oscilloscopes or anything like that. Haven't dropped any $50,000 oscilloscopes. Oh God, I don't know. Yeah, tough question. I'll have to come back to you on that one. By the way, I'm sitting on a. I didn't want to. Hello. Video's froze again. Yeah, there we go. It must freeze if I do something weird. I'm actually sitting on a wooden stool this time. Because I didn't want to fall off my chair, because my lab chair, let me show you my lab chair. It's got one of the, no, you probably can't see that, but one of the legs actually broke off it. It's a five-legged chair, and one of the legs just broke off it, and it can't, you would think, you know, right, this is my, you know, gas lift chair in the lab here, and you would think that with five legs, it'd be usable with 4 legs, but no, it's not. So I mean, that happened like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, and that's what I've been using. I tried to glue it back on, and it worked for a while. I was switched off. My other camera up there just switched off, restarted, and started recording again. So I don't know, maybe it doesn't like really long records or something like that. I don't know. I hope it saved it. Jeez, I don't know, something's really going on there. I better check to see. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, this leg, it broke off, and it had all these deep, you know, these deep things in there. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll fill it with 5-minute epoxy, you know, really strong epoxy stuff, and it worked for a while. I actually glued the thing back together, and it actually worked, and it held for a month or so, and then it broke again, and I haven't been able to fix it. I think about putting a big metal plate on the bottom and trying to clamp it down, and if anyone's got a good idea for fixing my lab chair, let me know, because it's embarrassing. So I was afraid I was going to fall off it or something and kill myself on live video. So I got the stool from the kitchen. There you go. 2 gig limit probably. No, because I filmed a presentation I gave yesterday, and that went for 49 minutes, and it recorded it, and there was 3.5 gig. Oh, it's probably a 4 gig limit. That's probably it. That's, yep, right. So it did 3.5, okay. Well, I don't know, mate. It wasn't a 2 gig limit. So there you go. Which do you think is funniest design in analog or digital? The funniest design in analog or digital? They both have their traits. Analog can be really, well, they can both be really tricky. I mean, analog's got its own little traps you can fight with, just, you know, a couple of components, but digital, if you're doing big digital systems, VHDL and stuff like that can be nasty. It's, yeah, the funniest, I don't know. They can both be a pain in the ass, that's for sure. Sorry, I'm not. I've been sort of avoiding questions that didn't have that little Q in front of them. So if you put a Q and a colon, I was looking, because I'm not reading every, dump the chair and buy a new one. Yeah, maybe. They're quite expensive. To get the proper gas lift chairs which go up high in a lab, they're not cheap actually. So, why don't EEs ever design products with the repairer in mind? Well, they do, but not as much these days, because consumer products are designed, there's no, often, because the development cycles are so short, like 9 months or less, you don't have time, often don't have time to design in the repair in mind, or companies just don't repair them anymore, so you don't get a brief. The functional performance specification for the design, when you're designing it, won't have repair in mind. If it doesn't do that, well, you're not supposed to put any extra effort into putting repair in mind. And a lot of companies do it deliberately on purpose, so that you have to, they build in obsolescence, so you have to, you know, I mean, Apple are a classic for that. You know, you can't replace the battery, you can't, you know, do anything. They design, you know, they rely on the fact that you buy a new product every 18 months or something, and that's how it works. Dave, what temperature do you solder FC degrees? It depends, you know, 350, 400, depends what I'm doing. So yeah, temperature is one of those tricky things. You've just got to do what works for you. If you're a very quick, you know, if you're a very quick solderer, you can get away with a higher temp. Have you ever worked on consumer goods, or was it always specialist equipment? It's pretty much always specialist equipment. I haven't really worked on anything that's sort of made the consumer shelves, I don't think. No, not really. Oh, I've done some consulting work for some consumer products, but I'm not sure if they ever made it. I never followed through. I just did some contract stuff for them, and you know, no, it's always, because I spent a lot of years in a military company or a defense industry company, and or I've worked on, when I was at Key Corp, I worked on stuff which is kind of consumer, like the credit card pin pads and stuff, like LCD monitors and stuff like that. But once again, they were niche for use in banking, the banking industry and stuff like that. Nothing you can go and buy at, you know, Dick Smith or something like that. So no, I've just always been niche. That's just the nature of the jobs I've had, really. How many things do you end up fixing for family and friends? Oh, it's 9 o'clock, so I better call it quits very shortly. No, I try and avoid fixing stuff if at all possible. I hate fixing stuff for people. It's absolutely a pain in the ass. I hate even fixing my own stuff, so it's just really annoying. So I've been pretty good with products. They usually don't break, so, you know, except for maybe the plasma TV was a big one. I couldn't repair that cheaply at all, so no, it's gone. No, I hate fixing stuff. I just turn it down. I fixed someone's headphones the other day. That was about as you know, solder on some wires. That's about my limit of enthusiasm for fixing gear. If you don't have the time to work on the calculator, would you consider someone else carrying on? Yeah, maybe. I've thought about maybe getting someone to work on the firmware. Perhaps I've mentioned as such on the HP Museum forum, possibly. Yeah, I don't know. I've got the prototype and it just sits here and does nothing. It's a bit of a shame, really. Thanks for the great show. Yeah, thanks. Would you make the calculator open source or offer it to the EEV community to finish? Yeah, it was going to be... Oh, video frozen. Video frozen. Come back. Thank you. Would you consider... yeah, open source calculator. Yes, it was always going to be open source hardware and open source software. So, yep, just like my watch was open source software. Yeah, I better call it quits, guys. It's almost 10 past 9. So thanks for turning up, everyone. I've got 68 guests and 42 viewers, And sorry I didn't make a complete fool out of myself this time. So I deliberately got the water bottle. There's a screenshot. And yep, and I didn't sit on the dodgy chair, and I haven't blown anything up, and everything's held up. I've got the video camera recording up here, that's switched off. I'm video capturing the chat session in there, actually 10 frames per second on the chat window, so I hope that worked. I hope that can record for an hour, so I'll go in there and shut that down. And this notebook held up, and it's all sort of working. It's 1 AM where you are. Oh, thanks for staying up at 1 AM. Awesome. So make it a weekly thing, please. Yeah, probably, I don't know, a weekly thing might be too much, I don't know. Some people might, get bored of it, and I might only have 10 people turn up or something if I do it every week. So maybe not every week, but I might do it every couple of weeks, perhaps. And I've got to get a better webcam. I'll get a better webcam that handles the light better and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, this is just another... Jerry's stream wishes Jerry would turn this off. What? Jerry Ellsworth? Everyone keeps talking about Jerry Ellsworth and when I'm going to be on her show or something like that. I'll have to find out when it's on and probably join in. Yes, so this was another bit of an experiment thing just to see that my new broadband Ethernet cable, because I went up in the roof, wireless sucked, so I went up in the roof and I dragged the Ethernet cable, 30, 50 meters of Ethernet cable through the roof and into the lab here. So I've got a direct internet connection which seems to work a lot better than the wireless I had before, so that's really good. Next live show, no idea. I'll probably want to get a new webcam first. Yeah, Jerry is a hardcore hacker. More of a hacker. I'm not really a hacker. I'm not in the same hacker scene as that. She hacks pinball machines and hacks gadgets, and she has huge rooms, buys all surplus gear, and she's got, electron microscopes and God knows what. It's really cool. I wish I could do that, but nah. See, I'm married and I've got 2 meters by 2 meters in the lab here, and that's all I've got. So, yep. Anyway, thanks for turning up, everyone, and thanks for this. It's recording, so hopefully it'll go on. It'll be uploaded. Maybe not tonight. My wife's making me finish assembling the kitchen cupboards, which I spent all weekend working on. So, yeah. See you guys. Till next time.